for Stearns County and also for the state of Minnesota last year. Just extraordinary conservationist farm up north of Sartell. And just wanted them to have them on the show and talk about some of the things they've done on their farm. And it's just so exciting to have them here.
I like it. Should we put them to the woodshed
Put
right
them
away?
to the woodshed!
Let's do it. Alex, how long you guys been in Sartell over there?
I'm fifth generation, so I think the farm got homesteaded in about 1911. So it's been in the family for well over 100 years now.
Sure. The century mark is that sign's getting a little old. That Century Farm sign.
Yeah.
It's been around for a while. Always a plan to take over, or did you have other aspirations when you were younger, or what were you thinking?
No, I guess it was kind of in my blood, I guess. Ever since I could pretty much walk, I was outside helping Dad do stuff or riding around in tractors, and I kind of never left the farm after high school and just started full-time.
And Chrissy, you're dating a guy who's going to take over a farm someday. You didn't run for the hills, or you thought that sounds like a good plan?
Absolutely not. I was no stranger to the farming life because I grew up in the farming world as well.
Cool. Were you around Sartell as well?
No, I actually am from Cold Spring originally.
Okay, gotcha. Alex, when you started working with these guys through, NRCS, otherwise the Watershed District and stuff like that, just a great opportunity to give some new ideas on the home place that maybe Dad and Grandpa didn't really think about over the years.
Yeah, I guess the soil and water and NRCS was definitely a huge help for us meeting our conservation goals. That pretty much started working with Mark. He got us water quality certified, and that kind of laid out a good foundation plan for our farm to kind of meet some of our conservation goals. And started working with Logan more, re-enrolled in our CSP contract, and he helped us get that all set up for us and pick the right enhancements to implement no-till, cover crops, nutrient management, and irrigation management. And it's been kind of a pretty slick deal we got going down there at Stearns County.
How did the relationship begin? Did you reach out to them, or did neighbor farm kind of say, "Hey, you should talk to these guys. They kind of got their stuff together over there"?
No, I think it was more on my end because I wanted to do something different on our farm, kind of set us up for the future for our kids one day and maybe take over. So I kind of reached out to them, and they kind of told me to start going to field days. That's kind of step one. And if you have any more questions after that, they'll do more kind of one-on-one stuff with us and try to keep growing that working relationship with them.
And Alex, I think we worked with your dad on a egg waste management system too, which was something that kind of got our foot in the door out there too.
Yeah. Prior back to when I was a little,
you were pretty little.
Little gopher running around. I know Dad worked with Stearns County. We got we installed a new liquid manure pit and a new stacking slab, and I think that's kind of the first working relationship with NRCS and soil water. And then I know we've done 2 or 3 CSP contracts in the past years too, and I think this is our 3rd or 4th time in CSP, which is a conservation stewardship program. So I think there's always been an ongoing working relationship working with NRCS and soil and water. But
Logan, talk about working with the Udermanns. You haven't been there a while, but in your time there, seems like some progress has been made.
Yeah, actually one of my first CSP contracts was with the Udermanns.
There we go.
And I remember the first time I met them, and they were like, "We just want to do something more." I'm like, "Well, we can try strip till, no till." And then I get a call from Alex the first year. He's like, "I don't know if this is going to work." I'm like, "Just wait, just give it a chance." And then ended up working and had a good stand of cover crop that fall. And now he's beyond me. He's doing stuff with the higher ups in NRCS, and yeah, he's going above and beyond what I get paid for.
So those are the success stories I love right there, because it started small, and you maybe were running your head against the wall for a while here, talking to Chrissy like, what was I thinking talking to this Logan Berg guy, full of baloney? But then you stay the course a little bit. Did you start, kind of just a couple acres in the back corner of the property, or where did it begin just at kind of the minimal stage and then grew?
Yeah, what I think our success boiled down to is we kind of took a slower approach at it. We had 5 years of no-till soybeans, and then those same 5 years we did no fall tillage and only a light spring pass on our corn acres. We didn't no-till our corn for 5 years, and we kind of saw the benefits slowly creeping forward with the reduced till and the no-till soybeans, where we started to see worm activity, soil aggregates forming, and some other soil health benefits. So we we're on the right direction. We just didn't have the proper equipment. So that's when we started working with Logan again and Mark and Megan and everybody else down at the office. How can we fully implement no-till and cover crops on our farm? So that's when we talked back with Logan. So we got to renew our CSP contract is expiring, and Mark's water quality certified us in 2021, and we kind of just went full speed after that and got 2 Ag B&P loans to buy the planting equipment and some manure
Sure.
equipment. And after 2021, that was our first year of 100% no-till corn and soybeans and small grains with
So-
the addition of cover crops.
Yeah, saving some money, saving some labor. And Chrissy, obviously that was something that you guys right away said, whoa, more money, less work. I think we could do this. I think this is a good idea.
Yeah. I mean, it gave us some more time to spend with our kids and do things as a family.
What did the father-in-law say once upon a time, Chrissy, when they first started implementing some stuff? Like, those guys, they don't know what they're doing over there. Or was he on board right away?
I don't.
He was a little reluctant at first, but then,
They normally are.
So I was too, because this is everything I've been taught, everything Dad's been taught and Grandpa's been taught is not what we're currently doing right now. So any change is obviously going to be scary, and there's obviously
Yeah.
risk involved. So that's why it's nice working with NRCS and Soil and Water. We have that financial assistance to offset that risk management part of on our operation, so we can afford to take some risk without losing
Yeah.
sleep at night.
Dennis, could you imagine a central Minnesota grower hearing a new idea and thinking, crossing his arms, shaking his head, saying, no way that's going to work?
Yeah. Well, I do know a few
Do
farmers
you
like
now?
that.
No way. No way.
happened here?
Yeah, right. Yeah. That won't work on our soils.
Well,
Yeah, we've heard that how many times too. I mean, if you want it to work, you're gonna make it work. And
Yeah.
You gotta just be educated and have the goals to do it.
the beauty of it too, Alex, is working with Logan, kind of a little bit of trial and error. And he said you called him and like, hey man, what's going on here? And he said, well, give it time. This isn't just a drastic one night thing here, and it's going to turn around. Let's put a little effort into it, and then now look where you are now.
Yeah, we're doing good.
Yeah.
We're doing a lot better.
I like it.
Okay, hold on. I got to step in here. So
Let's see it.
The fastest thing I've ever seen of this change of Alex's soils, the way he started managing things as a whole unit rather than just field by field basis. He had mushrooms growing in his field with his manure management strategy within 2 years, which is
Unheard of?
Unheard of.
Yeah.
So, hey, not to blow his brain up a little bit, but he's doing everything right. He's doing it the right way, along with the cover crop rotation and everything he's doing above with people at the state office level is unheard of, and it's something that a lot of farmers could just take a little bit from, and then it could just increase his production, increase more time with the family, less time on machines, less time in the field, and just enjoying life a little bit more.
Sure. So there you go. I mean, you had the quick turnaround. 2 years, you got mushrooms coming up. Was that where you called him back like, okay, now you're on to something over here, Berg?
I don't know if it was the mushrooms part. I mean, I ain't Luigi or Mario here. But no, like all the signs are starting to add up. I mean, we have in spring of 24, I actually went out the field, and I think I told everybody at the office too. We're up to like 1.5 million worms per acre, which is a really good number to be at. You want to be like that. The 1 to 2 million worms per acre is a good, healthy, functioning soil. We have beautiful aggregates. We have worm castings and middens showing on the surface profile, and it's just really incredible to see what our soils were 10 years ago to where they are right now. And it's really fun to see all this stuff happening now.
I was just going to say, Alex, with the increased earthworm population, you're probably also seeing increased infiltration rates. When you get rainwater, it soaks into your soil before it doesn't run off as much as it used to, and it soaks into the soil profile and is there for your crop to use.
Well, that's obviously the plan. That's
Yeah.
why we keep doing what we're doing. But yeah, we had a prime example of that in the summer of 24. I think we had that 1 or 2 inches of rain and hail and wind that one night. It was kind of a little nasty bugger, and we went out that same afternoon, and we had our no-till cover crop field next to a tree line, and then the neighbor's property was conventional tillage, and the corn was maybe about like a foot tall. And on the conventional side, you could see water standing from one end to the next, from headland to headland. And you go literally 100 feet over our field, it's
Soaked
not
in.
a drop of water. It's
Yep.
all infiltrated in the soil.
That's the plan.
Yeah.
That's the way they like it. keep that standing water out of there. We have to, we're up against the clock right here. Much more to come with Alex and Chrissy Udermann. Obviously, Logan and Dennis will chime in from time to time as well. On Sarah's Party Line here on your Thursday, brought to you by Wimmer Opticians and Chiropractic Connection. We break for news, weather, and markets.
Selects the outstanding conservationists, and we rotate throughout the county based on the supervisor areas. There's 5 supervisor areas, and we were in Alex's area. So we interviewed 3 candidates for the outstanding conservationists, and Meadowbrook Dairy rose to the top and were selected and appointed by the Stearns Conservation District Board of Supervisors. And then we also nominated them to be the outstanding state conservationists, and that's through our organization of the Minnesota Association of Soil Water Conservation Districts. And that means you're competing against all 80-some conservationists throughout the state of Minnesota. And they rose to the top for the area. That's our 12-county area from Benton to Big Stone. And they were the number 1 for that area, Area 2. And then they compete against the other area winners. There's 8 areas total in the state. And then they rose to the top there for the state winner. And that's the first time in my career of 29 years that I've ever seen that happen. So what a way to end a career with having the state winner coming from Stearns County. It was just amazing.
Well, I'm pretty sure Alex and Chrissy gave pep talks about you. They were, let's do this for Dennis, right? That's what you guys were saying.
You know it.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Was it kind of daunting when these guys start coming in with these nominations and stuff, Alex? Like, wait, what am I doing now? Or are we getting a little ahead of the skis here? Or was it just kind of roll with the punches?
Well, my life is you got to roll every day.
Yeah.
Every day is a new day, but I mean, it's kind of humbling now. I mean, we're 8-9 years into this, so the first couple of years were kind of rough on us. You know, we're stressed and worried about stuff not working or losing a crop, but it's kind of nice. It's a good feeling now after like 8 or 9 years into this. There's people outside of our farm that can see what we're doing, making a positive difference not only for the environment, you know, through erosion of water, infiltration and water quality, and even like just on our farm in general, we're a lot happier. Our cattle are healthier. Our crops are looking nicer. And it's just really nice not to see just from NRCS. There's people from lending institutions or some of our co-ops are starting to recognize our works. And it's nice hearing that people are seeing our hard work that our family has put into our operation.
They start tossing you some questions, like picking your brain a little bit, like what worked for you and why you chose, certain paths or stuff. Maybe trying to copy off your test sheet type of deal?
That's starting to happen more and more now. I think people can start seeing that what we're doing is starting to really work, and they can see some of the benefits that we're seeing on our farming. We don't have 2 4-wheel drives no more. We just have smaller front-wheel assist tractors. I think that really stirred a lot of commotion up in our neighborhood, that we got rid of pretty much like half our iron, and we're getting the same crops and same yields, and we're not running up and down the road doing field work for a week or 2 in the spring and fall and picking rocks for a week and everything else. It's just we have a more laid back approach to farming now. But
darn, huh?
Yeah. Shoot. What would I do with more time?
Yeah, seriously. Chrissy, people. Go ahead.
I just got to say, Alex just said, what would I do with more time? And I know one of the things that he has been doing is he's been more involved with our workshops and farmer-led panels and our field days, and really appreciate it when a farmer goes out and visits with other farmers on things that worked and what they've learned and what they would recommend not doing and things that they could try to, accelerate their conservation practices. Having somebody like Alex and Christy share that with our farming folks that are still a little bit reluctant to move in that direction really is helpful.
And you've noticed that? I mean, obviously, you've talked to farmers before, growers before. Carries different water talking to a professional where it's like, well, you know what, we did this and let me tell you how it worked, as opposed to them almost like a sales pitch. You guys, the day-to-day operations, like, no, this is how it's going to go down.
Well, that's kind of what I keep telling. I remind Dennis and everybody at the office too. I mean, they do exceptional, great work down there, but I think it's going to be more meant to the farmer if it actually comes from another producer. Yeah. Because those are the people that are planting the crops, harvesting them, feeding their livestock, and, the whole cycle there, versus listening to I don't want to say a government employee. Sometimes it just don't sit well with other farmers. So if we can do more farmer to farmer actions, I think that's going to definitely help other producers try to make the switch.
And Dennis, I mean, that's it right there. You guys sometimes come down the driveway and people say, well, here comes government. Well, I wonder what they want now. Where when you get Alex, who's in it every day, it's like, okay, what's he got to say type of deal.
I agree 100%. We recognize that at our office, and that's why we really appreciate. And it takes time to attend these field days and workshops and to share this information. And you do have more time because of the conservation practices you've implemented, and it just is. It's the way things have to be done. Yet farmers that are making it work need to share that information with other farmers so that everybody can be more sustainable, have a greater return on investment, and improvement to our water resources.
Christy, you guys with the write-ups and stuff like that and the website, people drive by the farm a little slower these days to see what you guys are doing over there?
Yeah, it helps that we farm pretty much right up next to the road in Sartell, right in the heart of it. So all our work is showcased.
Magnifying glass right on you, huh?
Yeah.
When we first started doing no-till soybeans and some other stuff, I don't like to pick on people, but the same pickup drove by about 6 times in a matter of a half hour when I was planting one field.
Yeah. Do you drop something over there, fella, or why do you keep driving by? Oh, just want to see what you're doing.
I don't know. Like, I'm always open to this. I told everybody at the office in the Morris and Benton County, like, if there's another producer that wants to, help, or if I can help educate someone, my number is available. Just call the office and reach out to me, and I'll gladly take a phone call or come out to our farm, and I'll show you our equipment and our fields and some of the soil health stuff. So we're always willing to try to help the next person out.
Logan, you got a job application for him, or?
I mean, NRCS is always hiring except for right now. But give it 6 months, we might be back.
Always, except for right now.
Right.
I like it.
So yeah, let's just going off of what Alex said is with how fast technology is advancing and how fast people are realizing things. Like we got Facebook, you have the news. I honestly think, well, I don't know what Dennis thinks, but I honestly think that we're in the golden age of conservation right now because we are federal employees or state employees. We can only say so much, but when it comes to like farmers having farmer panels and having outside groups that aren't connected to federal funds or state and local funds, and they're talking and we're kind of at a transitional phase right now of generations. Like, Alex's generation is like they're starting to take over farms, and they're realizing that, hey, it's not all about tillage. It's not all about just being in the field all spring. It's more about having more time with family, and that's what a lot of us as like our parents didn't have. Like, my parents were always working, always farming, and I'm sure Alex is with the same way. But now it's like, okay, if we can make a change, increase our time with our families, and then also make a profit on it,
it's a win-win.
This needs to be looked at harder.
I just got to say, I did spend a lot of time with my family in the spring picking rocks.
Yeah. Just what you wanted to do.
That's great bonding time.
Yeah.
Didn't your dad say you're not that great of a farmer and you should go to college?
Bingo.
Or something
That's
like
exactly what my boy Alvin Fuchs told him once upon a time.
Yeah.
You're no good at back in that machinery. You ever think about college?
Yes, that is correct.
I gotta add something too.
Do it.
All the farmer field days that I've been to with Alex when we started this conservation journey, a lot of farmers that are doing conservation work, they are very willing to share their story, whether it's a good success or a bad failure.
Yeah.
They're pretty open.
And the beauty of it is, Alex, is high times, low times, whatever. Everyone wants to know. You guys have the information. You have the stories. Go to those conferences and stuff and share your tale, right?
Every field day or winter conference is typically usually free, so education is very knowledgeable to have. And I keep telling myself, like, there's countless times we failed more times trying to implement these practices than we have actually succeeded until, we're almost 10 years into this, so we've had a fair share of always along the way, but we were persistent and we were determined to make this work for our farm, and we just kept at it.
Perfect plug for the field day right there.
Yeah, right. We are looking at developing a more farmer-led process here in Stearns County. That'll be happening this summer and fall. So we're hoping that Alex and some of the other farmers in Stearns County that have implemented conservation practices that have improved their return on investment are going to be interested in participating in that process. We'd like to have this as a farmer-led group that really helps get the word out about conservation practices. So that'll be, keep your ears tuned for that later this summer and fall. And Alex, we might have some more work for you.
Put them to work. Where do the Udermanns go from here as far as the state competitions and stuff like that? Is it all just kind of waving and kissing babies at this point?
Yeah, I'd say as far as our conservation district, but Alex was also the finalist for Leopold Sustainable Farmer Award. You want to talk a little bit about that, Alex?
Sure, yeah. Last year in 2024, that was the first year the Leopold Conservation Award came to Minnesota. It's kind of just a nice little gesture that like a couple ag community businesses kind of put a little slush fund money together, and you get a cash prize of $10,000 if your farm is just going obsessionally above and beyond in conservation and volunteering and help educating other people. And we were one of the top 4 finalists for the first ever Minnesota Leopold Award, which is, I think, really cool because I think that award's a really big award to get,
Yeah.
and it's only in like half the states in the country too. So it's nice that it's here in Minnesota because I'm a big believer too. If we can get a good exposure out on a happy, successful story of, say, I'm going to a regenerative farm, like if we can inspire somebody to make a switch, even if it's a small thing, just doing reduced tillage or do it in cover crop. That's kind of why we continue to what we do. If we can inspire other peoples to change.
And Logan, that's just it right there. Just, it worked for the Udermans. And took some doing. The sleeves got rolled up a couple times, and there was trial and error, but they did find their success. And you're, like Alex is saying, trying to inspire others to find that success as well.
Yeah, definitely, and that goes across the entire state with NRCS or across the country. Is just because success might not happen right away, or you might be double checking, double guessing, calling folks like Alex did too. And it's just like, as long as you're doing everything right, as long as you do it, not to say that we have to tell you what to do on your own farm, but like here's the process, here's how to be successful at it. Now, Mother Nature might not always cooperate with you. Like this last fall, we had a lot of producers try cover crop for the first time, and guess what? We didn't get any moisture in the fall.
Yeah.
Alex was one of them. But it's like, but then we're getting a lot of moisture this spring. We're getting a lot of rain. We're getting a lot of snow. And not always do you see what's happening below the ground too, because some of those seeds might have germinated and they're doing their job, but you just don't see it on the top. But we'll see it this spring, and if we get the moisture we need, or what they're saying is we're going to get, we're going to have some cover crops growing. Stuff's going to be green and not brown.
And you talked about, him checking in on you, and this isn't working stuff. That he's definitely not in the minority of local growers and producers who, hey man, what's going on here? Like you're not. Oh, good seeing you, Logan. I'll talk to you in 10 years or something like that. No, they're in your kitchen.
They're calling, and springtime is a very busy time for everyone, including us. And there's some days where I wonder, like, what did I do today other than talk to folks on the phone? But that's what my job is, and I know that I'm helping them as long as I can put them at ease and be like, all right, just trust the process, let it happen, and you will be successful at it.
So it's tough to hear that answer on the other end of the phone, Alex. I would assume you were looking for maybe a little something. Was it a vent session for you, or you're looking for some instant, maybe some instant gratification? But hanging in there with Logan and those guys, in the end, it all paid off.
I'll add my 2 cents to that, but I mean, like, our group is very small of people who are doing what we're doing. I mean, there's maybe a handful that are 100% no-till in our area, and it's very far from few. So try to build that network with other producers is kind of challenging, and you don't have too many phone calls you can make to when you're in an oh crap situation.
Sure.
So you kind of just lead back to working with the people who help you start it, or you call your other few people with your limited resources. And sometimes, yes, it is nice to vent, but at the same time too, the farmer's got everything on the line with the equipment, P&I payments, your crops, and you have a failed crop, that's your income loss versus, when you call them guys, it's going to work just fine. You have to say, I want some guarantee here, dude, because we got a lot of money here.
Yeah,
and
I'd like to see a return here.
Yeah. But, Logan said, you got to trust the process. And I mean, I believe you have to do all 5 soil health principles. The more soil health principles you can do, the faster and better your success rate is. If you only do 1 or 2, you're probably not going to see much of a difference or any results. So I think those are the guys that try 1 or 2 things and say, oh, this didn't change nothing, or it cost me X amount of dollars and I lost this yield, but they only did 1 thing. If you only do 1 thing, you're going to get kind of piss poor results.
Yeah.
So if we do 3 or 4 or 5 things on the soil health principle standards, that's when you're going to start seeing some success and start cooking with some fire.
Was that it, where you just kind of decided, let's go all in on this thing? Because dipping a toe in the water probably wasn't going to turn the results that you were looking for. You wanted to see, jump on board here and see what they could do?
Well, originally we dipped the toes just to play it safe, because that's just any human nature.
Well, I mean, it's your livelihood you're talking about.
So, but now, like, so we're 8 or 9 or almost 9 years into this. Now we're pretty much full throttle within reason, but there's nothing that doesn't scare us to do anymore. Like right now we're getting into composting and I'm just going full speed on that because I know it's going to better our farm, and we're not going to lose our money on anything we incorporate now because we have the success behind us. And if we do cover crops, or say if we're going to interseed or hire a drone or do composting or foliar spray, compost extracts, like they're all going to improve the soil somehow, some way, in a positive way. You just have to make sure it cash flows, and I'm really not scared about losing money anymore trying new practices because we know it works.
Yeah, and this is the kind of funny part of the story is like the spring before, Alex called me and said, I don't know if this is going to work, man. And it wasn't that next spring. He's like, what do you think about adding compost for the city of Sartell? I'm like, what? How do we go from that to that? And like, you were worried about getting your crops put up, and now you're like, yeah, let's do some more. I'm like,
Kind of went 180 on you
yeah,
there.
I'm like,
Well, this is where I got a little out of control, though. But last summer, I just, I said, F it. I want to do something, and I drive by this compost site every single day when we're farming in town, and to have grass and wood chips and everything, there's like, if I could get my hands on that and put that on our field, that's going to be a win-win for not only our farm but the community of Sartell where we live. And I just went to a city meeting, and I kind of told them what I wanted to do and who we were and some of the wars we want and working with soil and water, and they were like, this is a great idea for the city and your farm. And so that summer, I think we took like 20 spreader loads back to the farm and just started, or I didn't even do that. I took a couple loads of grass and some leaves back to the farm, and then I started working with Julie Ryberg at the Buffalo office, a composting specialist down there, and she kind of helped me get started. And so it really didn't cost us any money to start composting. And then that same summer, I think I went back and I got some like 20 spreader loads of wood chips and did my own little wood chip pile at home. And last fall, I kind of went maybe a little too big, but I got 1,300 yards of wood chips. We're going to start composting now. We just started that a couple weeks ago.
Sure.
So I'm
well on your way.
Yeah, I might be a little head above water there, but we're gonna figure it out.
But that's when we went out there. I certified your cover crops. We walked through the field, and you were adding all this. We were just seeing all this microbial activity, the worms, the actual mushrooms growing in the field, and the moisture, and how dry it was last summer. It's like, there's moisture here. This corn is still growing. It's still green. There's no signs of any water stress at all. And like, so then that's when I'm like, Alex, you're above and beyond.
You got it going
right now.
here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Call me if you need anything at this point.
Fuji, when you hear stories like this, it's not too tough to realize why they ended up where they were. Whether it was starting small and then just kind of slowly incorporating. What a success story for these guys.
Oh, exactly. And they haven't even mentioned a massive wetland restoration that they'd done on their property. They had an area that was marginal cropland that was, frequently flooded, and they worked at restoring the wetland. You want to talk a little bit about that? I think that's absolutely amazing. Also, the stuff that you did with restoring that wetland.
Got sick of getting stuck, huh?
Well, I mean, our farm's on a very unique property. We have an active county ditch running through it, which goes into Baker's Lake, which drains through Watab River, which ultimately goes into the Mississippi River, which is ahead of the St. Cloud water treatment plant for the St. Cloud residents for drinking water. And then working with Dennis, and I think Brittany helped me understand too, you might have to correct me, Dennis, we're in a high management for surface water contamination.
Right. That area is very vulnerable to contaminants, so it's something that we want to keep an eye on.
So with all that in mind too, like our home property is heavy organic soil. We're like 6 to 11% organic matter. Everything's ditched, and we're kind of like the tail end of if we get a huge flash flood. Once Watab Creek fills up and Baker's Lake up, we're kind of
Here it comes.
Yeah, we're the second holding pond for the whole town of Sartell, and it just got to be unfeasible for us to row crop that anymore. Even with some of the soil health principles we were doing, it just wasn't. I mean, we're putting 200 pounds of nitrogen out there and getting a failed crop of corn, and where's all that nitrogen and fertilizer going? It's going downstream, obviously into Baker's Lake and ultimately in the Mississippi River. So our farm kind of made the conscious decision as a family that, hey, let's put this back to where it's supposed to be instead of trying to get a crop off this land that's very unpredictable every year. So we kind of just said we're going to do it and started working with Bowser and everyone down at Soil and Water to come up with the plan. And
Bowser.
I thought you weren't a Mario Luigi guy.
Bowser is the state agency Board of Water and Soil Resources. Everybody calls him Bowser, BWSR. But I just want to make sure your listeners know we're not hanging out with Bowser.
These guys come in with acronyms every day, and it's like the military over here. It's like, what are you guys talking about? So I like when they break it back down. But now it can pour, and you're not worried about it. Everything going underwater.
Yeah, I can let it rain.
Yeah.
That's what it's made for. That's kind of a restored wetland. So we got geese, ducks out there, and turkey, and the whole wildlife's back. And if it rains, it pours, I guess, out there now.
Bring it on, right? Well, we got to 10 o'clock. Shocker. As Dennis,
we never got a chance to say anything about Chrissy's award that she got at Farm Fest.
Well, now you get to. Now you get to.
Well, I want Chrissy to bring it because it wasn't part of the Soil and Water Association, but it was just still very, very impressive.
Chrissy, what'd you do?
Yeah, so in August I got the opportunity, and I won Woman Farmer of the Year through Farm Fest.
All right. And that was this past Farm Fest?
Yep,
Cool.
this past one.
How has how's the life as woman farmer? I mean, you're like basically the queen of farm women of Minnesota, essentially.
Well, there's a lot of hardworking women out there that definitely deserve that award, but I haven't slowed down since it.
I love it. What an honor, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. And
Then Daniel preferred hers for after we got our endorsements, I'm pretty sure, from MDA.
Oh, MDA was, yes.
So she was
Danielle Ikeson, yes, from the Minnesota Department of Ag, put her a letter of recommendation for Chrissy to win.
Sure.
And,
Cool.
Yeah. And we didn't get a chance to talk about the 5 endorsements with the Minnesota Ag Water Quality Certification Program. Listeners, you're just going to have to catch these folks at a future field day.
bend their ear. Is there any room left on top of the fireplace with all the awards coming through the Udermann house these days?
It's getting a little saggy and tippy. We got to reinforce it.
Get the level out, see if you can do it. Well, congratulations on all you guys' success, and enjoy your time. Thanks for coming on Partyline.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Fuji, you guys got any events or anything you want to do spill out before we kick you out of here?
Retirement party, May 29th.
Oh. You knew he was going to talk beer at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to have a retirement party at Milk and Honey Cider on May 29th at Milk and Honey Cider, starting at 3 p.m. until the cows come home.
Gotcha. Randy, I will be taking, that's a Thursday, right?
Correct. Yes.
Randy, I'll be taking the following Friday off. We'll just put my PTO in request right now. Dennis, Logan, Chrissy, Alex, thanks for stopping by. There's Partyline for you on your Thursday. Thursday's edition.